Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com or look for us on Facebook at Voices from the Bench. Greetings and welcome to Voices from the Bench. My name is Elvis. We are at episode number 91.
My name is Barbara. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. We're recording this on the Friday before Christmas. I got my hat on, my lights on.
Did you say your lights?
Yeah, I've got a necklace with blinking lights. I'm a little bit over the top at it occasionally. I know that surprises you, but
that's a little bit too much.
I know. I'll take a picture of him so you can see him. They're beautiful.
Absolutely.
We're all wearing them.
Is this the last day of production for you? Or are you back in on the 23rd?
We don't stop. Are you kidding me? I'm working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and...
Wait a minute.
Thursday, Friday. No, wait, I'm sorry. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Full staff Christmas Eve?
Yep.
You guys are nuts.
Yeah, we're working. We always have. We, don't tell anybody, but occasionally we have a pretty good Christmas Eve here at Night Dental. We party a little bit. And
I understand.
Laugh a whole lot, and we have a fun day, so it's not too bad. I try to get everybody out of here by 2. We work fast and try to get it done and wrap it up. But yeah, no rest for the weary.
We have our our last day is Monday the 23rd, and we don't work again until January 2nd.
Are you kidding me?
Every year we do this.
Yeah, that's not fair.
It's more of a hassle than a help, I'll tell you. I spend a good couple weeks up to this point telling people, no.
Wow.
We can't make that date. No one's here.
How do you stay, I don't mean successful, but how do you not tick your clients off? Because insurance is ending. Everybody wants everything rushed and you guys close down. You don't lose business?
It's tradition.
Wow.
It's just something this lab's always done.
Well, good for you guys.
Honestly, if it was up to me, I would open for a couple of days in between to keep things rolling. But I don't know how much we lose. But if they find out we can't get it done by that date, does it go somewhere else? I don't know.
I have a few choice words for you, but I'll keep them to myself. Your week next week, Elvis. And remember, I'll be working.
Well, I will be working on the podcast.
Yes,
so
I'm sure you will.
There you go. So today we have what I like to call a threefer.
Oh, my God.
I could have used another term, but it would have been taken wrong. We have 3 conversations we got out in Philadelphia at LMT Lab Day East. First up is a good friend of ours and also a fellow board member of the NADL, Robert Gitman from NDX Thayer. Rob talks about how he gets into the industry, how he went from consulting and marketing to becoming a lab manager, and he also talks a little bit about what happens when your lab joins the NDX family. And then we talked to funny man Bruce Barrish from Colonial Dental Lab. Bruce has been in the industry for a long time and has a lot of good stories to tell. He tells us his story and how he uses study clubs and education to market his lab. And then we wrap up this whole episode with lab owner turned vendor speaker Jeremy Wohlers from Kulzer. Jeremy was at Lab Day East to talk about digital dentures, and he tells us what makes the Paula system from Kulzer so unique and might be a good fit for your lab. So join us as we chat with Robert, Bruce, and Jeremy. Nanoceramic is the new buzzword in full arch dentistry, and for a good reason. But what exactly is nanoceramic? If you're like me, you might be wondering. A nanoceramic is an advanced restorative material that blends silionated glass and a polymer matrix together at the molecular or nano level. Silionated glass drives the superior aesthetics and durability of this material, and the advanced polymer fibers drive the elasticity and lifelike feel. Blended at the perfect ratio, the glass and polymer matrix creates the ideal combination of lifelike functionality and long-term durability. Crystal Ultra by Digital Dental is comprised of 70% silionated glass and 30% advanced polymers. This 70-30 mix is the magic that makes Crystal Ultra the ideal material for full arch dentistry, creating the perfect mix of durability and high aesthetics. In combination with the semi-flexible bar structure, A Crystal Ultra-based fixed hybrid denture is the most beautiful and durable full arch restoration in the industry, period. To learn more about the future of full arch dentistry, visit crystalultra.com/voices. Crystal Ultra, feel the difference. Voices from the bench. The interview. We are here at, where are we?
LMT East.
LMT East in Philadelphia, in the hometown of the good old Robert Gitman. How are you, sir?
I'm excellent. I'm in my hometown, and it just feels great to be back.
So you don't live here currently. You were born and raised here.
Right. Moved to central Pennsylvania in 2003.
And you're with Thayer Dental Lab,
right?
Correct?
NDX Thayer now.
All right, I was going to say the proper way is NDX Thayer Dental Lab. So tell us, how's life? How's it going? How's business? What are you looking at for checking out at this meeting? Or are you just here to see old friends?
Here to see old friends. We're looking at some new technology, looking at some new materials.
What are you guys looking at? Like new, of course, probably zirconia, but technology.
No, zirconia, we are great.
Awesome.
We just got 2 new 3D BioCAD mills, which are just awesome. We're wet milling zirconia to get really thin margins.
Wet milling zirconia, interesting. Doesn't that produce quite a slush at the bottom of these things?
Not as bad as you'd think.
Really? Huh.
But they're awesome.
Does it speed up the process of the milling?
No faster, no slower.
No? Okay.
But just better
the milling strategy is pretty much the same time factor.
Interesting.
How'd you hear about those? How'd you investigate them?
I didn't. See, that's the beauty part of working with NDX.
Yeah.
I got a phone call, and we're getting our picture taken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
Got it?
She's taking a video?
The Robert Gitman. You know what we could do if we were taking a video, but
we're not doing that. Save that for the NADL.
Oh, yeah. No, maybe in like 5 years.
Yeah, and I have to point out, so you introduced me, but everybody, I'm sitting here with 2 industry leaders who put in a lot of time, not only for these broadcasts to bring you great information, but these 2 great people serve on the NADL board with me.
Who
and
are you
Barb
talking about?
Is our incoming president in January. And Elvis has done an amazing job of just the short time he's been on the board. He is extremely involved in every facet of board materials and great perspective. Yep. So thank you both.
Well, so are
You're
you.
welcome. And you're president-elect, I assume, right, in January?
No. I don't count my chickens before
You're
they're
coming
hatched.
up right behind me, so congratulations to you as well.
Thank you.
You're responsible for cleaning up Barbara's mess.
Wow.
Damn.
That's hurtful.
That wasn't very
See,
nice.
that's why they call it Philadelphia, the city of no pity, where danger's no stranger.
Yes. I asked about that last night. I got prepped on Philadelphia, so yes.
So tell us your story, Robert. Are you a technician?
No. Back in 1980, I ended up working for a gentleman by the name of Ralph Packman. And Ralph was the executive director of the Dental Laboratory Conference, a dental organization that had laboratories in mostly Canada, the United States, and then a few in Western Europe. And of the domestic U.S. laboratories at the time, there were 110 members, and they represented 40% of the market share.
Really?
Yeah. Now, one member happened to be National Dentex. But that was one member with one vote, although they had multiple laboratories at the time. But in working for Ralph, half of the business he had was clients in the pharmaceutical industry and the other half in the dental industry, manufacturers, distributors.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Ralph and I helped Judy start LMT when she left Modern Dental Lab.
Shut up.
You are kidding me.
Wow.
No,
That is such a story.
She came to the office, and she had no advertisers and didn't know where to start. And Ralph got on the phone, and within 3 days, she had advertising contracts from every major manufacturer so she could start
Wow.
her publication.
That is super awesome.
So
I can't believe that.
I was lucky enough to learn dental technology from some unbelievably great technicians who allowed me in their laboratory and to sit there and pretty much watch over the shoulder what they were doing, allowed me to ask questions because I couldn't market their laboratory or understand how to help them make a better profit till I understood the process.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So I understood, I learned all the processes at the time, and continued over the years, but I've never sat down with my hands and tried to do anything, which probably would not have been a good situation.
Or it might have been a good situation.
They have a couple less fingers, probably.
Yeah.
So you came into it in the marketing.
Right, marketing and business consultation, right.
And that's and now here you are where you're at. I mean, that's amazing.
I've seen you speak several times, which has been really a love watching you speak.
Where'd we see you? Cal Lab this
year? We
saw him
at Cal Lab,
That's what I thought. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was good stuff.
Well, you get that many years of experience. You got to have one or two good stories.
One would hope.
So we're at LMT, and we're going to enjoy our day, and hopefully you have a great day as well.
What do you? What's next for you?
What's next?
Yeah, I mean, other than president
Taking
after
over
Barbara,
I don't know. But people look at me and they're asking me, "Well, when are you going to retire?"
Oh no!
And I'm thinking to myself, I have no desire to retire ever.
Nope.
I mean, I want to be another Norm Weinstock. Still. Mixing it up in his 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Got too much energy. I don't mind change.
Well, good. Yeah.
So it's an exciting time to be in dentistry.
Were you at Thayer before NDX took over, or did you come in with NDX?
I started working with Greg Thayer as a client back in 1986.
Wow.
So we just helped that laboratory grow over the years, and back in 92, that was when Greg started putting the full court press on me to come and work there full time, and it didn't happen until 2003. But
really,
and I don't know how you say no to Greg Thayer. He's awesome too. I know him well.
And then you came in to market that, to market them.
Well, really at that time I was really managing all the finances and all the business components. Working with the accountants, the insurance companies, all the employee benefits. Greg and I designed that building, built that building that we're in now, and it was real curious because we were able to do it, and he paid no taxes on it because of what's called a 1031 exchange. So we did a real estate exchange. And
wow.
And he paid no taxes?
No, he left that burden for his son and daughter. So the basis will be reduced, but they're going to have it. So
nice.
We avoided that, so it's kind of cool.
So when NDX came in, how was the transition? I mean,
I have to tell you, the team that they brought 8 people from corporate in.
Really?
And 8. They made camp in our lunchroom for a week. And we didn't skip a heartbeat on production. We were able to service the customers. They performed the corporate integration with everything from a biometric time clock to making sure that all the documentation we had got transferred over to them, that our HR, all our people were onboarded properly, and it was seamless.
Wow.
They had a great team. It was headed up by a guy by the name of Jeff Gordon, and consummate professional. Just
the race car driver?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
Does Greg ever pop in and say hi anymore? Or
no,
is he
he's
pretty much retired?
busy with retirement.
Good for him.
I think he's playing a lot of golf. I know that he's volunteering time at a food bank and a library. So beyond that, not sure what else he's doing. But I'm sure, knowing Greg, he's keeping busy.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
So,
well, we appreciate you sitting down
all right.
with us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the invitation.
Always good to see you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Barb.
Easy breezy.
What do I do?
I don't know.
I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah? Well, when you do, let us know. You want to come back?
53 years in this business.
53 years.
53 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're here with Bruce Barrish from West Berlin, New Jersey.
Colonial Dental Lab.
Colonial Dental Lab. So how far is West Berlin, New Jersey from
Here?
Philadelphia?
About 20 miles.
That's it.
Oh, that's not
right
bad.
over the bridge. We're fairly close to Philly, and we're also about 45 minutes from Atlantic City.
Wow.
Sweet.
Nice. So talk about your lab. What is it? I mean, is it
Colonial was formed in 1976.
Wow.
The bicentennial year.
Yeah.
By two men, John Balancio and John Porter. Mr. Porter's retired now, but it's a family business. It's not owned by any large group.
Nice to hear.
And they started in just a corner shop, and they grew through the years. In Blackwood, New Jersey is where we started, which is in the same area. Yeah. In 1999, we moved to West Berlin, 12,000 square feet.
Nice.
Wow.
Where we are now. So we're there 20 years. We almost have all the boxes open. I remember the first day we got there, I still think there's people on hold because of we didn't know the phone system. But we're a full-service laboratory.
Yeah, that was my next question. So
yes,
you're full service?
We're a full-service laboratory. We got about 30 technicians.
Nice.
We mill our own zirconia. We do not mill abutments.
Good.
And we don't do chrome cobalt.
Yeah.
And we send that out. But we do not subcontract to any foreign country.
Good for you guys.
Good to hear.
And I must tell you that there are a lot of laboratories around us that do.
Yeah.
And what gets me angry about that is that I don't know if the dentists know that they're doing that. I don't know.
New Jersey doesn't have any sort of regulation or disclosure,
none
law or anything. Yeah,
not to my knowledge.
Sure.
And I must tell you that I started in this business in 1966. I'm in 53 years being a man and boy. And my dad got me into the business.
Was your dad a technician?
My dad was a technician, as a denture man before World War II.
Wow.
With vulcanite dentures.
Oh my, that's
vulcanite. Yeah,
and then he went.
I've never heard of that.
before.
And then he went to war. He was in World War II, and he was in the Seabees. And then when he got out, he just bounced from job to job.
Yeah.
He was in sales for a while. He worked for Helene Curtis. He could actually color women's hair. It was amazing. Early 1960s, he was looking for a job, and he got this job at Superior Dental Lab, which at the time
I've heard of them.
was one of the top.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're still around at a smaller. But they were one of the largest laboratories on the East Coast.
They used to have one here in Philadelphia. Isn't Joe, when we were driving
I think
around,
that's
he
the
goes,
Superior we were
Superior
talking
used
about
to be
last
right
night.
here.
Are they gone now? Or
No,
are they
they're
still
they're very small. It's a small laboratory. It's run by a friend of mine, a fellow by the name of Jack Kulzer. And they're just a small, almost like a boutique laboratory.
Yeah.
But at the time when I joined them, they were about 100 people.
Oh, wow.
And I was a technician. And I used to say my dad got me into this business, and I haven't spoke to him since. and my dad passed a few years ago. But when I used to tell him that, he used to say, "You're eating, aren't you, you little stinker? What are you complaining about?" So,
did you specialize in removables as well?
No, I
was
I did casting.
Okay.
I did some waxing. I did a lot of copper tubes in those days. I mean, that was a whole different
copper tubes.
I'm sure you don't miss that much.
No.
What'd you do? Copper tubes?
Well, we had the doctor would take copper tubes and we plated them and made dyes out of them. And then the doctor, and then we would do transfers with cheap metal, and the doctors would try that in and then pull that, and then we would make. Of course, you couldn't go to a finish. In those days, nothing was cast in one piece. Also, porcelain fused to metal was just starting.
Yeah.
Just coming in. Acrylic veneers were the standard of care. And we had like 8 waxers, and 7 of them were doing acrylic veneers, and 1 person was doing microbond copings.
Wow.
And there was no such thing as implants. I mean,
sure, yeah.
Later on, we did get into subperiosteals, but it was a whole different business.
And now your lab's pretty much metal-free, right? Are you
I'd say
digital?
we're about 50-50.
Yeah, but you're not doing it there, are you? What did you say? I thought you said you were metal-free.
No. We don't do we don't make abutments.
Okay, got it.
We send to Atlantis or Nobel or one of those companies. Okay, if I say their name?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will tell you that the only person who pays me is Colonial. We're doing a lot of speaking. We're very big on all-on-4 type cases.
Oh, okay.
And in fact, at the end of this month, we're doing 2 programs for the New Jersey Dental Association.
Nice.
They have like
Good
a
for you guys.
resource
Awesome.
day. Me and a gentleman, Jan Dvorkin, who does he does the heavy lifting. I go up and I tell jokes and warm the crowd up, and then he gets into the heavy stuff.
Yeah.
But we're very strong into that, and we still cast some metal, and especially in the larger bridges. We do a lot of lithium disilicate.
Do you press that or mill it?
We for the most part we mill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is so much less labor intensive.
It's hard to press that stuff.
Yeah. Well, you got to.
It's not hard, but it's
you got to
there's a
wax it. You got to
process.
go
Yeah,
through
yeah.
you got to go through the process. So the only time we press it is when the milling machine breaks down.
Yep.
The joke is that machines don't call in sick.
Yeah.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do. Digital
Mm-hmm.
dysfunction.
No, they don't call in sick. They leave in the middle of the day. That's what they do. They just stop working.
Yes.
So is there anything in particular that you're looking for today?
The main reason why I come is so people see I'm still alive and still working.
So you like to socialize and
yeah,
say hi. There's somebody saying hi to him right now, as a matter of fact.
He is a former employee of Colonial, and she is an employee of Colonial.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
So how many people from Colonial are here?
Well, me and Michelle so far.
Yeah.
I expect there'll be more.
Do you encourage your employees to come?
I
and
posted signs all over the
yes.
place.
Good.
And
good.
I've been
20-minute drive and it's free. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, and I'm very big on LMT.
Same here.
I always appreciate what Judy and her staff does. In fact, my 5 minutes of fame was several years ago when Judy quoted me in her editorial page.
Nice.
It was the time that she had, and you may remember this. She had Glidewell and 2 or 3 of the other top people speaking together in one. Josh, the late Josh Green,
Yep.
he was involved in that. And the next time I saw her, she asked me. She said, "What did you think of that?" I said, "It was like going to a rock concert and seeing Paul McCartney and Mick Jagger and
the
Eric
big
Clapton."
names.
And she said, "Wow, that's great." And she put it in the magazine.
Nice.
And that's it. And I haven't had any fame since then.
Well, you're going to have podcast fame now, sir.
Now you're on the podcast.
Yeah, I must tell you, not to embarrass him, but I was so impressed with him when I saw the program in Charlotte. And in fact, I was impressed. I was really blown away. What a terrific job they did.
Yeah.
And what great programs. His was really good because you really you cut through the crap and you really can I say that? And you
Yes,
and you
you
really
can.
went through you really got to the heart of it. And I think what you're doing, allowing us to have a voice as dental technicians. I've seen dental technicians at one time were held in higher regard than they are now.
Yeah.
And it really bothers me. So you were asking me what I was doing. So I did that for about 5 years. And I was, how can I put this? I was a really bad technician. I do not have the manual dexterity that you guys have. And
I don't have it either.
Okay, well, I know she.
Barb's got it.
Well,
I've got it.
Little Miss
I know
AACD.
I know she does. Probably your dad did.
Yeah, my dad did for sure, and my son.
I probably would have been another couple months. I probably would have been out bagging groceries somewhere.
Yeah.
And they had 2 gentlemen in the customer service department, and one guy left to start his own car business or something, and they couldn't find anybody. And they said, "Well, let's get this." And I was, I don't know, 22, 23 years old. He said, "Well, this guy, he's not very good with his hands, but he can talk,
And he knows the.
and he knows the business, and
Sales.
sales, and sales, customer service,
Yep,
and that was
customer service.
and
yep.
that was my break.
Yeah.
And I've been with Colonial since '97, and
Wow.
became general manager in 2003.
So you're managing production.
Yeah, no
I'm
pressure there.
I'm managing everything.
Everything.
Well, I'm also in charge of marketing, but the production to a point. I mean, I work with the managers.
Yeah.
But also handling problems with the HR director and things like that. And I mean, if it wasn't for the technicians and the dentists, this business would be easy.
God love them.
So anyway, so that's
so true.
That's my story and I'm still working, and everybody always asks me when I'm going to retire. I really like what I'm doing. I don't like where the dental business is going necessarily.
Yeah.
And everybody's price conscious, and and always have been. But it beats sitting around the house, watching Netflix. I
You're
guess.
actually the second person. Rob Gitman said the same thing. He says, I just don't ever see myself retiring. And I think if you love it and you have passion,
it's a great thing about this
forever.
industry is you go to these conventions and there's so many people here that they've retired.
Yeah.
But they're still coming to these things because they love the community,
Yes.
they love the people, they love the connections. They cannot get away. Even if they retire, they're still in
It's
it.
the greatest industry ever.
Yeah. Rob's a friend,
Yeah,
and he
I
was
thought so.
when he had his own consulting business. He worked. In fact, when I came to Colonial, he was their managing consultant.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he was
Yeah.
doing it for that.
He knows
Then
everybody, I'm
He
telling
does.
you.
Rob knows everybody.
Yep.
One of the world's greatest James Bond's fans, by the way.
Is he really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have to
I'm
write
one
that
of those rare. I prefer Roger Moore over Sean Connery.
Really?
Yeah. See, I get this, so I'm gonna have to have a talk with him later.
Yeah. See what do you think of the new guy? See, I think he should have darker hair, but it's
Drinking Heinekens instead of
Straight from LMT East, James Bond.
that's just me. I'll tell you, this is a real honor to be sitting with the two
we
of you.
appreciate you.
Yeah,
and,
we appreciate it.
and doing this and being here, and I hope it's a good show. Last year, I thought it was a good show last year.
It seems like a good crowd.
Yeah,
and
it's
they have
busy
some
now.
great programs here, and I know the 9:30 to 11:30. There's so many great programs to choose from.
Yes.
I think that's where everybody is right now.
Well, there's an awful lot of people in here now, and they're in class. Half of them are in class, so I think it's going to be a really, really, really strong show.
I
Just
like
saying.
it because I live about half an hour from
That's
here.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's and even going to Atlantic City wasn't bad.
Yeah.
When Judy had it in New York, it was nice, but New York's a hassle.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think I own a down payment on my car when I parked it in New York. So.
No, Philadelphia is nice.
Yeah.
It's an easy in. It's not too city, not too crazy. It's
First time I've ever been here.
Me
It's
too.
great.
Really?
I love it.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we were driving around last night looking at all the beautiful buildings and talking about the culture and the city, and
It's a great
love it.
it's a great city.
Yeah.
It's really improved as I've gotten older, or maybe it's because I appreciate it more.
Yeah.
But it's done a really nice job. This convention center is just a wonderful.
oh yeah, it's
huge.
beautiful.
A wonderful venue. It is huge till you go and see the Javits or the one in Chicago.
Okay.
But are you going to be at the Greater New York?
No, we are not. No.
Well, that's really more for dentists.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
they're very nice though. They allow dental technicians to come in,
Yeah.
which not all these shows used to do.
And that's the way these things should be set up, as more of a combination.
Collaborative.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between the groups.
You don't see too many big shows. We used to do them, and now we don't do any big shows at all. We do a lot of study clubs.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as a lab with a booth at a I
Yeah,
don't think that.
we do.
I know a
small-
few
small
labs
things.
that do it, but
It's
we've never
it's
done
very
it.
expensive.
Yep.
And this way, if I'm doing a Seattle study club locally, I'm reaching out to new people in my
Yep.
area and my customers.
Yep.
Which sometimes we forget. We forget that we have to make nice to our customers. That we have
Yep.
to touch base with them.
Keeping the work is easier than finding new work. So making sure that your clients that you
Amen.
have now,
Absolutely.
and yeah, we're big into Spears at Summer. I think we participate in like 8 or 9 clubs between 3 of
Wow.
us.
Wow.
And yeah, that is a majority of our marketing, and it works.
In the fall, I'm never home on a
No, I
Wednesday
know.
night.
Oh. My wife is like,
You're proud
really
of your
again? Again?
Well, my wife is used to it.
yeah.
Yeah. When people ask me how come I haven't retired yet, and I tell them that I was going to, and my life was threatened. My wife said she'll kill me.
Because you'll be home all the time.
Well, she works too. So it's I really like, and things like this. This is my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And doing programs, and we put on 3 to 5 seminars a year.
Yeah.
Some of them are in our laboratory because we have a nice little room that we could seat 30, 40 people.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes we have it on the out a certain venue. Now,
Yeah,
I noticed where Judy yesterday went to the Battleship.
I saw
I know. I
that.
saw that on Facebook.
Totally would
We have
check
a
that
dental
out.
lab
We
there.
did a program. In 2003, we did a program. We had Ed McLaren come in,
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Ed McLaren,
Yep.
and we had about 200 people. And at halftime, at lunchtime, we had a tour. And it was a big hit.
Of that battleship?
Right on the battleship.
Wow. That's cool.
I would never do it again for a couple of reasons. First of all, because of security, there was from, remember, this is 2003. From where the registration was to where the program was like 2 football fields.
Oh.
And everything had to be outside. So we had a tent. Now, we were lucky. It was September, and we had a fairly nice day. Yeah. And still, some people complained it was too noisy. Yeah. Some people complained it was too hot. Some people complained they couldn't see the screen where it was. Logistically, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't do it again, even though people still ask me. And that's wonderful.
It's cool
thing to see.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It's right here right here on the.
How close is it from here?
It's right across the Ben Franklin Bridge, like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, right in that Camden area, which used to be kind of a slum, and they really did a terrific job making it nice and
that's awesome.
With things like that, they also have an aquarium that's terrific. We've had programs there too.
Nice.
The only problem with that is sometimes the people, instead of looking at the, I know everybody.
Yeah, I know. As he's waving to people passing us.
Well, when you're in the business, when your business as long as me, you kind of know everybody.
Yeah.
And again, I like to think that, I'm still alive. I'm still working.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to continue as long as I have my health. We'll continue to do it. I mean, what am I going to do? Sit home and
bother your wife?
And what? Yeah, no. She'll probably be working or whatever. I mean, do you ever consider anything about life after?
No. In fact, my dad's 78 and still comes in dye trims, so I just don't see ever stopping.
I tell my wife I'm going to die working.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Several years ago, we went to your laboratory, and we met your dad, and it was really eye opening because they were so organized, and I'll tell you, I've never been to any laboratory that I didn't learn something.
Oh yes,
I love that. That I didn't pick something up.
Yep.
And when just going to that marketing thing
summit,
that we went to the marketing summit, just talking to people, I almost learned as much just going back and forth. Megan from Seattle, yes, Martha.
Martha Martin.
Martha Martin. Terrific people that you just exchange wonderful ideas.
Yeah.
Somebody always does it. Somebody always does something else better. And hopefully maybe we exchanged a few ideas of things that we do.
What we didn't get out of you is how to swing a golf club.
I was so bad. I mean, it was just ridiculous. So about 100 years ago, a gentleman was teaching me how to play golf because I was engaged to his daughter, and he took me out. He took me out, and I had one lesson, and then we broke up. And the lesson stopped. And
that was that.
And I was a pretty good baseball player in my youth. I'm a big baseball fan, and I have problems with swinging like that. Instead of I want to step in and
no, you're not allowed to move your feet. And all
not allowed to move. Barbara, it was ridiculous. It was especially we had two young ladies. We had Megan and the other girl who works with Martha, and they were hitting the ball 3 times farther than me. And here I am, this big guy. It was like it was pretty embarrassing.
You can go drink a beer.
I had a couple.
Yeah. I'd be like, all right, time out.
Yeah,
go drink a beer.
But again, in meeting Elvis, meeting all of them, it was worth the price of admission just to do that.
Yeah.
Awesome. It surely was.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Bruce. We
Thank
appreciate you sitting down.
Truly an honor for me.
Yeah. Awesome.
Truly an honor. And you've made me a steady listener now.
Awesome.
Aww.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Spread the word.
Yeah,
sure
spread
will.
the word.
Awesome.
Let your people know.
Sure will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You ready?
Yeah, we're here with Jeremy Wohlers.
CDT
from Kulzer. Kulzer. Jesus.
This is why we love him, because he pronounces things so correctly.
No, I don't.
And I get to be the female and correct him, which I love, So you're speaking today.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your event and who you're representing and just a little bit about what's going on.
I'm representing Kulzer, obviously, but we're going to be speaking mostly on the whole gauntlet that Kulzer has to offer on digital dentures. So we go everything from the scanner to our design software, to our printer, to the cleaning unit after you print, to polishing, the whole deal.
So is it you're printing the base and the teeth, and then you put them together and bond them together?
So we're printing the base and the teeth, and then we'll bond them together using the same material that we printed it out of. Mm-hmm. So in removable, generally speaking, teeth would break out of a denture because we had two different materials, and
makes sense. Yeah,
each flexes at a different deal. So if we print the teeth and the base out of the same material, we have the same flexing, so things don't delaminate, the teeth don't break out.
Is that unique to your guys' system? I don't know what other people do. Do they use completely different resins for teeth?
Right now, it's unique to our system.
Is it? Yeah.
There's a few that are doing similar to ours, but for the most part, a lot of people want the more aesthetic tooth, and so they're using a tooth card.
I get that,
and that's something that we're definitely interested in working on right now. But the problem that you have when you do things like that is that flex is different.
Sure.
And that rears its ugly head on Thursdays or Fridays, and
of course it does.
Yeah. So that's where the bonus of digital is because if Mrs. Smith's dog eats the denture on Thursday night,
can print one and get it done.
Doctor can call us and tell us, hey, I need a denture, and they're always worried they're going to have to go back to reimpress. We can print it before the doctor makes that emergency appointment comes in Friday, and they can see what was there before.
Very cool with this whole technology. I'm pretty excited about it.
So as a laboratory, if I want to go out and talk a doctor into trying a digital denture, what is his process? Like, is it normal? Do they have to do try-ins? Can you walk me through that process so I can understand it a little better?
So we have, Kulzer launched a tray system that we had, or I still have, I should say, the pallet tray system. And that is a whole system where you take an impression and you get the bite on the first appointment. Take the final impression and bite one appointment. It's a great system. Doctors generally don't like change as much, in their workflow.
Is it really harder, or is it just change?
I think it's change. It's really not that hard. And in fact, it's in my opinion, it's way more accurate. The bites we're doing a Gothic arch tracing, which is something as a removable technician I've wanted all my doctors to do, but few of them do.
Nobody does it.
So
nobody does it.
It forces them to do the Gothic arch tracing, and then they can't figure out why the bites are right when they do it that way. If they do everything the way we want it, everything will be perfect, and it'll actually, everybody saves money, and everything comes out ahead. For the doctors that don't want to do it that way, you don't want to alienate them, and as a lab, you want to make sure you support everybody. So you can still do the traditional impression, do a traditional bite rim, and still go digital from that point on. But when I have that conversation with doctors, I just tell them, every time we enter analog into the workflow, we decrease in our accuracies. And every time you go back and forth between it, after you've started one route and you go back to the other and then back to analog again, you really start going down the path.
So, but we're still not doing intraoral scanning to do a dentulous. I mean, that's not there yet.
Fully dentulous, no, I don't think it's there yet. You have tissue compression issues and things like that.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
We have workarounds. There's always a workaround. We're lab techs. That's our worst quality is we have a workaround, right?
So true.
But you can do a intraoral scan, and when you go to try in, they could do a reline impression.
Yep.
And we could go from there. With our new software and our cloud-based software, we have the ability to digitally extract teeth.
Wow.
So
nice.
With that ability, and that being said, an intraoral scan on an immediate denture, that's not such a big deal because those usually don't fit all that great.
Anyways,
after the teeth are extracted, the tissue's so unpredictable from there. So that's a definite route that you can go and do an intraoral scan. And you get the bite that way a little easier. The tricky part is taking a bite when you do an edentulous scan.
Yeah.
And getting an accurate reading.
So you guys have your own design software.
We do. The Pella Design Studio. It's a cloud-based software. It's made kind of the entry level to get people into it, and
pretty user-friendly. The novices, the fixed technician that their manager says, I need you to do a digital denture, and they're like, what the heck?
Yeah, isn't that, so
kind of like me.
It's crazy because, you look at the industry right now, when we were doing just removable traditional ways, the crown and bridge technicians, they didn't even want to look at doing anything with wax and acrylic, right? Now that we're getting digital involved, they're like, well, now hold on. And they've already are ahead of us on learning how to design and use all that CAD software. So, we were taking the breadcrumbs from fixed for so long, and now it's kind of shifted, and we're kind of leading the industry now with the digital and
sure,
removal. And
absolutely.
So it's really interesting to see what's going on. But yeah, it's actually, get back to the software, it's actually very easy. We don't make it so that you can play a lot with the tissue part. Like one of my friends always says, you don't want to get lost in gingiva land.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it's true. We fiddle. That's technician.
Yeah.
So we don't do that. You still have the ability to individualize and be the artist that you are as a technician, so you can move the teeth, position them. And it's a great communication device for doctors. And what I found, my lab was predominantly implants. I did a lot of full arch implant cases, and the communication with doctors is key to that. So our software has made it so that's a very good and easy communication device. We have links in our software that you can send to the doctor, and they can have a 3D viewer.
Oh, to approve it, take a look at it. That's cool.
Yeah, and if you have, and since everything is open, so we open STL everything that we have, we can link that to implant design software, so that now we're using what we're going to make to plan what we're going to do to support it.
So you can pull it into like co-diagnostic or something and then
Yes.
plan the implants in it. Wow.
Yeah.
And this is, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's free.
Yeah, so it's free to design.
To play with and to get with. Yeah,
obviously, I mean, we're all in this to make money, right?
Sure.
So we charge for downloads when it comes to that.
Yeah.
It's actually not that bad. I think it's like $24 an arch, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
In the files, when we download them, you don't have to store them. Like one of the nightmares for dentists, my father was a dentist. I kind of got into that field through him. And
God bless you.
he had a basement full of boxes of teeth, right?
Sure, yeah.
And then labs had the same thing. We had all kinds of storage. Well, now my computer turned out to be that storage device, and so computers bogged down. You got to have external storages. So having a cloud-based software, we store all the design files and scan files for 7 years, 4 years.
Interesting.
So
nice.
You're not slowing down your computer. It's cloud-based, so you don't have to have that big fancy computer.
Is the software going to prevent someone from doing something they shouldn't? Is it if you I don't know, put too much of it? Just if I tried to do it and messed it up, would the software say that ain't going to work?
Yeah, it has that cool error reading.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
Nice.
and so then the group of us that are selected on there as admin, we get to know that you tried something, no, and we contact you and say, hey, this is what we were doing wrong, how we can coach you through that. It gives us all that information. The software is pretty much the cool thing about software, and CAD-CAM in general, I think, is as technicians, we're always afraid to lose the account, and so that shut up and do it conversation that we get from doctors.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd always do it because, I don't want to lose that account. The computer, I can tell it to shut up and do it all at once. It still just looks at me and says no.
Yeah.
And that makes it so that we're actually becoming better technicians, better quality products coming out.
Yeah.
It's great to have, and it's a great communication because now I can say, hey, look, the computer says no, so I have somebody I can blame and send that link to the doctor and be like, look, it wasn't me, doc. I really wanted to do it, but the computer said no.
I tried.
Yeah.
No can do.
That's great. And you can output that file to anything.
Yeah, everything's open. Kulzer doesn't want to back you in any corners. That's kind of the reason that I teamed up with them as much as I have. We'll give you an open STL for everything. Once you get your open STL, you can decide if you're going to mill or print. Now, obviously, we would encourage you to print with our printer and print it.
Of course.
But it's open to you. We work out the bugs in the system so that it prints and works better with our system. But if you go out the other way, we'll give you an open STL, but if the fit's not the same and things like that, then that's, we'll try to help you as much as we can.
Yeah, but it's not built to it.
Yeah, it's not built to it.
I get that. So tell us about your lab. Where were you? How did that come about? Why did you sell and become
as a trader?
You're a trader. You've gone to the dark side.
Right? So I've been in the industry, like I said, probably all my life, basically. My dad was a dentist, so I knew that I didn't want to be a dentist. That was not my field.
Yeah.
But I had a lab in Yakima, Washington, opened it and started it from
you're
scratch.
from Washington State?
I am.
Oh.
Short little drive here.
Sure.
It was a great lab. We did a good job there. Did nothing but removable and fixed removable type application. It was great, but then I started doing a lot of KOL for a couple different companies, Kulzer being one of them. And I talked about earlier how we've been taking the breadcrumbs off of fixed and trying to apply it to anything we can do removable, and that was kind of my frustration. And so when Kulzer came to me and said, hey, you're really driving the market and talking about it, would you like to do this more and speak with us more? I jumped on board. I think having a company like that and I can push innovating the industry. Kulzer steps up with something, and then another company steps up with something, and that just keeps us moving as we keep going in this field. And removable needs that. So I wanted to be part of that, and it's fun. except being on the road a lot, but it's fun.
Do you miss the bench work?
I get a little taste of the bench work. We do a little bit of R&D and things like that, so that probably...
You do get to play with it. So
good.
Yeah,
so if I didn't have that, I'd probably be a little bit crazier than I am, but yeah.
Sure. How long ago was that?
That I quit?
Yeah, well, that you moved over.
So it's been 4 months.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, pretty fresh.
That
I didn't
recently,
realize that. Yeah.
Good for you, though.
Yeah, so
I've heard a lot of really good things about the company and what they're doing with digital dentures. We're actually looking at this at Night Dental here this past week. We talked about it, so I may pop into your lecture because I'd really like to learn more about it and maybe have you come to the lab or at least talk to me a little bit because I feel like I need to get on board, Elvis.
Yeah, it's something
time.
we're not doing. We're starting to dabble in it.
Yeah.
We actually had a meeting not too long ago talking about we want to outsource the actual production of it for a little bit. We want to design it, but we want a partner that will do it before we start doing it. Because we have your printer at our lab. We got the Cara. And we're just a little nervous, I guess.
Well, that's good, though, that you're nervous. I was a one-man lab, and my wife did the books. And so I had to ask the wife, honey, can we buy the printer? And she's like, no. It's like, well, come on, you answered that a little quick.
Yeah. You want to think about it?
Yeah, right? But we watched a Crown and Bridge lab across the street, a very talented technician, but he refused to go into the digital world of things. And we watched him slowly die a painful death there.
Sure.
And she got to see that. And so then she said, wait, so that's kind of what's going to happen to you here in a few years? I'm like, if we don't jump on digital, we need to be on it. Yeah. So that got her to go ahead and I'd sleep on the couch a couple days. She was a little mad at me about it when I showed her the price at first. But, as a one-man lab to jump on that's a big deal. But as bigger labs, that's not as a hard thing to jump on. And I feel like you have to be on it now. Or you're going to get lost.
Yeah.
And to have it, and even just to have it a little bit and dabble in it a little, that's great. I presented at a couple study clubs in my local area, and just so happened it worked out that I paid off a dog at a local place to eat a denture out of a lady's nightstand.
Oh, man.
So once the dog ate the denture, she needed something right away. And that doctor happened to be the one that was totally against printing.
Oh.
And I said, look, I can give it to you tomorrow. I can give you the denture tomorrow, but it's going to be printed. He didn't realize that the original denture I had done it using some printed technology.
So you had the file.
I had the file. So I just printed it real quick, gave it to him, and he actually seated it at a study club on a Friday because that was the next day that he had available with her. It was on Thursday that the dog ate the denture. So it worked out perfect. It was a perfect deal.
You couldn't ask for a better advertisement.
No,
than that right
exactly.
there.
And then from that moment on, I had calls from every one of my doctors. Hey, can we go digital? Can we go digital? Can you do?
Sweet.
And then what else can you do digital? And
Yeah.
Can you do night guards? And then I was doing surgical guides. The thing is we talk at all these meetings about doing digital dentures, and the money making part of it all that's actually savings for the lab and the doctor is the night guards and surgical guides.
Mm-hmm.
That's quick, easy. Surgical guides are amazingly quick. I have a lot of surgeons, being that I was implant lab, that was always asking for surgical guides.
So you printed a lot of guides?
A lot of guides.
What I hear a lot in our side of the industry is the labs that are planning the surgeries. That's the scary part.
No.
Yes.
From what I understand, you don't plan, just print.
Just print.
That's my new slogan. Don't plan, just print.
Yeah, and you can team up, but there's so I had 3Shape guys come over and talk to all of the doctors, and I just had a meeting in my lab one night and had all the surgeons and placing doctors come there, and they talked about 3Shape, and they all jumped on the bandwagon of the 3Shape planning software. Co-diagnostics, a couple of them did that. Once you get an STL, you can print it. So I didn't care really how the doctor got it. I wasn't going to provide it. Once they got that, and Nobel has clinician. They've released their clinician now so that we can, of course, for a dongle fee, I can download and print.
Yeah. From their
so a lot of my
DTX
Nobel doctors will send me those, and I would print their surgical guides from there because it was considerably cheaper for me to print it than to have somebody else do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've outsourced a few. It's expensive.
Well, you only have, not including the sleeve, okay?
Yeah.
But not including the sleeve, you only have about $2.50 in a print on a surgical guide.
That's awesome.
And I can fit usually about 7 prints on a build plate. It takes about 20 minutes to print it.
Yeah.
So those are a lot. There's a lot of money into those on a build plate compared to, say, it's a denture.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Agree.
Absolutely. Well, hey, man, thanks for sitting down.
Thank you.
We're going to see you at the Eastern Conference in November.
You bet.
He's speaking. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So
we'll
that's
definitely run into you there.
I'm not going to drive to that one. I think I'll probably fly.
Yeah. I'm hoping you fly.
It's a heck of a run.
Well, have a great meeting. Good luck on your lecture. Thank you for sitting down with us.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
Thanks.
You too.
So did you know, guys, that Whipmix manufactures a full array of 3D print resins featuring the only FDA-cleared splint resin? The company printed resin offering includes model materials in golden brown, ivory, white, and soon to be available gray. And it also includes surgical guide, burnout, and custom tray materials. The latest resin in the group of printable resins is called VeriSplint, which is the very first and presently only FDA-cleared print material that prints quickly and results in an accurate and economical hard splint. Their customers can now print a full build platform in under 1 hour at a cost of just $5 to $6 per splint. This exceptional resin has been validated by the FDA on a SIGA 385NM DLP printers and is fully biocompatible. Have you started printing your splints yet? No, let's do it. Consider this. Printing them provides a considerably higher level of efficiency because it avoids several lengthy steps when compared with conventional methods. But most importantly, it brings a greater degree of design flexibility into the process, which improves both the lab and the patient's experience. Whether you're printing splints, models, surgical guides, casting patterns, or trays, consider increasing your productivity and your profitability with Whipmix VeriBuild resins. Head over to whipmix.com for more information, and thank you, Whipmix, for sponsoring our podcast. A big, huge thank you to Rob Gitman, Bruce Barrish, and Jeremy Wohlers for taking the time to sit down with Elvis and I at Lab Day East. We so love talking to our friends and new people at events just like this one. Anytime you want to learn more about any of our guests, what we have on the podcast, head over to voicesfromthebench.com and you can learn all about our guests and what they do. Speaking of events, just like Lab Day, we have 3 events that we will be recording at live in January and February, and you can still register for these events. We will be at Vision 21 in Vegas. That's January 16th to 18th. Voices of Dentistry, which is January 23rd and 24th in Scottsdale. And then, of course, the biggest event of the year, LMT Lab Day, Chicago. You can go freeze your butt off with us, February 21st and 22nd. Elvis and I really are excited about hitting the road. You know, normally we do this over a computer. So when we get face to face and we get to meet everybody and see them and talk to them, it's really super cool. Make eye contact, laugh, and come join us. If you see us at any of these events, come find us, sit down and talk to us. We are no holds barred. We want to talk to everybody. So you can find a link to register on this episode show notes. And if you plan on attending any of these events, and want to make sure you get on the podcast, send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com and we can schedule a time. But if that doesn't happen, don't be scared because I'm going to go pull you in and we're going to talk to you.
Just walk by the booth and you will be on. That's how it works.
Yep.
She will suck you in.
And we just kind of walk you through it. It's totally cool, totally casual. So come see us.
So I think this is going to be the last time we're going to beg.
Oh.
But there's about a week left to vote for Voices from the Bench on the dentalpodcast.org website. This is a website with the rankings of every dental-related podcast. And now I saw the standings the other day.
Oh, I was just going to ask you. How do you find that?
Well, it's kind of a secret to those in the know.
Oh, you don't sound too happy.
It's not, like, official yet.
Yeah.
It's not. I feel that as technicians, we can do a lot better.
Who's ahead of us? I'll kick them. I'll beat them.
Everybody.
What? Are you kidding me?
A lot of people.
Aw, damn.
Now, I understand there's not nearly as many technicians as there are dentists, and a lot of the podcasts on this list are dentist-related.
Come on, guys.
But this is an opportunity for us technicians to be louder and prouder by showing support for our whole industry. So please,
seriously,
dentalpodcast.org. And then when you're spending the holiday with your family, have everybody else go and vote. We don't care if you're in the industry or not. We just appreciate the votes. Voting is done by January 1st. So if you got a chance, dentalpodcast.org and vote for Voices from the Bench.
Come on now. You know how competitive I am. I'm actually voting as we're talking.
There, yeah. The more you do it, the better.
I thought we were going to do pretty good. That's so bummer. Huh.
Last year, we did really good. But since the industry has exploded in podcast, we're getting kills.
All right.
We're the only laboratory one on there, but
we win in my eyes anyways. Not that that means anything at this point, but
that's all that's important. That's all that's important. As long as we satisfy in the eyes of Madam President 2020, if she is happy, I am happy.
Thanks. All right, I'm voting again. Come on, guys.
All right, everybody. That's all we got. Merry Christmas or whatever you celebrate. Nice work getting through the holiday rush. We're pretty much done.
Aw, Merry Christmas. Don't get too crazy. I'll be with you next Thursday and Friday. Elvis. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. So let's get some of that Christmas cheer coming out of you, Barb.